Ugh.
Ring, ring, ring. Hello, simps and also virgins.
Okay, good.
And welcome back to Crown's Magical Redemption Cave. It's all over!
Well, welcome back to the Island Boys Caves as we get ready for a little bit of Island Boy analysis over here. I'm an Island Boy, you're an Island Boy, and we're all fucking poor again as Bitcoin's done goofed off the $6,000 highs, getting a not so great weekly closure right there. And there is plenty to talk about and discuss for this next week to come. It is all, of course, it is all indeed a setup for this next week to come. So with that in mind, I do want to wish you the best and the happiest to all the Island Boy and Island girls out there, by the way. By the way, I cannot fucking get over that video with the Island Boys. Like, what? I forget how it goes, but can you just imagine, like, if everything from humanity got wiped out and then the only thing that was left was a video of the Island Boys, and then, like, aliens came down to collect what was left of Earth, and they're like, wow. No wonder. Fucking hell, man. Anyways, yes, so let's talk about some more serious stuff over here because we got plenty to talk about for this next week to come. And I would like to once again wish you the best and the happiest because I don't think I did that yet enough or already enough. I'm going to turn off the alerts for right now as well, although I do appreciate them. We'll get to them after the early morning rituals. And what do we have going on the top end dashboard for the Crown Chain application over here? We do see that Fear and Green Index still actually bounced up there to a 49. We got back to neutrality after Bitcoin did see the lowest reads in the last couple of months here. Now, with that in mind, of course, this is a continuous thing, and while we did get close to that fearful zone, we didn't quite necessarily get there where you do kind of expect your major lows to kind of come in from. Now, of course, all of that is secondary to the actual price action analysis, but does kind of give some extra color on top of it. And what else do we see as far as top 10 best coins go? We actually do see some big winners in the last 24 hours. We see Voyager token. I think that's the former Superman shill coin. Zcash. Oh man, not fucking Zcash on the winners list. Oh dear Lord, man, that one has no business doing anything. Elrond, Crypto.com, Oasis Network, which sounds cool, like the band, I guess. Stacks, Horizon, IOTA, oh dear Lord, and Flow all on the winners list right there. Actually with some decent gains in the last 24 hours. Into the market data tab we go, and let's follow up on the global funding rate, of which we do see it take a nice leg up from yesterday to today. Still below what I consider a par for the course. And realistically, if you are holding longs right now, not only are you likely underwater, but you are probably not really paying all that much for your position. So it's not a big deal. But again, still, you know, the most obvious signal if you're going to be looking at the underlying market dynamics going from here for that next major lows, you want to see, you know, Fear and Green Index below about a 25, and you want to see negative funding rates. You know, it doesn't necessarily need to be that negative, but if we see something like that, that'd be a very good sign from the underlying market dynamics. Of course, you do want to see something more tangible in price action as well, but until we actually get there, you know, this price action does suggest, at least for myself, only looking for scalps, not looking for hodls. What else do we see as far as global leverage goes? We do see that it's actually starting to take a little bit off the top right there, but we can go down much further with that. And of course, the global open interest coming down rather significantly now, but still, you know, can come down much more significantly. And I think that it's going to take a little bit longer than what most people are probably postulating. I did put a video out yesterday night on the long-term analysis for Bitcoin specifically, and you know, to kind of summarize those thoughts, I think that this market still probably isn't done until, you know, at least like Q2 of this coming year. So does that mean that we could spend some more time consolidating between about 60,000 and maybe even 35,000? Actually, yes. Although that's really well and far away, I still think that BULOS have a chance here. We could see a major bear trap, but again, until Bitcoin's back above about 63,500, there's no real, you know, tangible talks of that. Also, before we get into the actual analysis itself, I need to address this yet again because I've been getting actually a couple messages about this on Instagram. I only have one account. Well, I have two accounts. I have my personal account and I also have a brand account, and they're both linked in the description below. And if you're getting any sort of messages, any sort of DMs from any other accounts that are not those ones, I can assure you it's not me, and it's probably a scammer, because I got a great message the other night, not so great message actually, where someone was like on the verge of sending this guy $1,000, and it's like, man, don't do it. Just don't fucking do it. Look, the general rule of is that if it sounds too good to be true is very much true in cryptocurrency land. It's ripe for scammers and all that good stuff. So, well, not so good stuff, but, you know, be aware that I'm not interested in trading anyone else's account other than my own. Other than that, what else do I want to say? Yes, we have our own sale coming up at the strike of midnight tonight, so don't buy anything unless you would like a little bit of a discount, and we'll run that through the end of the month here. And then what else? Yes, we also got the old FEMEX link in the link description below as well. Of course, I always feel obligated to say, look, they're not going to be offering you a deposit bonus, which I think they're doing about 3,600 for free, unless if they think that they're going to be getting more out of it. So if you're going to take advantage of that, which also does reduce your trading fees. So there, I mean, there is kind of, you know, some good things with it as well. But if you're going to take advantage of that, please make sure that you actually have, you know, a successful history of trading so that you can make the most out of it. In fact, I got a good message from a couple guys the other day who actually did use it to their advantage, and that was actually pretty damn cool to see. Again, if you're not already successful trading, don't be fucking leverage trading, or at least I would say it's probably not very wise. What you should be doing is trading a demo account, not risking any finances, because you don't need to. There's no reason that you need to do that, and there's no rush as well. I mean, this market's going to be here no matter what. And look, we ain't fucking moon boys or June boys here. We are traders here, and being traders means that we can trade all sorts of dynamic markets. Anyways, get into the Bitcoin analysis over here, of which we do have CME opening up for the weekend. What do we have? We have a little bit of a dumpola into what was Friday's closure coming in from last week. So we did say that that was likely over this past weekend here, that while Bitcoin did test, you know, around that $6,000 territory, that was great. However, you know, likely to come back down and fill the gap from Friday closure. And then it's game on once again. Now, with what we're doing right here, short-term timeframes, I mean, it looks like we're just kind of going through a bit of a range and very likely to bounce this area yet again. I mean, this is the exact same chart that I was running last week, and actually this one from the weekend, I believe. Was it on this chart? Yeah, no, I think it was actually GDAX right here. Whatever it was, doesn't matter. CME is the one that I like to default to, especially when the new week starts. And while I do think that Bitcoin could very easily come back down and test around last week's low, I don't think that we're going to be breaking lower before getting a generalized and greater bounce first and foremost. As at some point, and probably sooner rather than later, we will be creating some hidden, or sorry, not some hidden, but some regular bullish divergence on the next drive down, as Bitcoin does kind of meander is what I mean to say, between about 59,000 bucks at the top side and about 55,500 to 56,000 bucks to the bottom side. So, you know, does that align with another test to the downside of this region and then bounce back up, trap a few shorts that way, and then test around 61,000 bucks? That's kind of where I'm at right now. But again, remember that as long as Bitcoin is below, especially 63,500, we are operating on lower highs, and that would be your confirmed reversal actually. So let's just see where the fibs are right now, assuming that this is our local low, which I do think that it very likely is. And let's see where that would kind of be plopping around. And yes, 63,450 or 63,500 if you want to be a little bit more roundy uppy with your numbers right there. Anyways, as long as Bitcoin's below there, I do look at any bounce as just that, a bounce before further continuation of the downside, because what happened last night, we had both a 5-day, weekly, and bi-weekly closure on spot price action. Obviously, CME already got these things, so this is more or less a formality, but still important nonetheless. And what do we see over here? Okay, 5-day. Let's start off with this one. Okay, wrecked as fuck. We do have bearish divergence come off the high as well. What do you know? Right there, 1, 2, 3 drive, actually multiple drives right there. Weekly, same shit here too. 1, 2, 3 drives. Bi-weekly, same shit right here. I consider this already confirmed, to be quite honest with you. Actually, no, I do not. We did not get the exact closure that I would want to see for a bi-weekly confirmation of bearish divergence. However, that would be the next one to come. And if that does get confirmed, minimum target of about 52,000 bucks and maximum target of about 47,000, or I wouldn't say maximum, but I'd say like a more legitimate target of about 47 to 48,000 bucks within that territory. So that is still within the cards right there. That was actually not confirmed, so I'm wrong about that. As we still have to wait a little bit more. I really wanted to see it close below about 57.5 in order for that to be true, just last bi-weekly low, but we didn't necessarily get that. Now, to be fair, momentum oscillators are certainly on the same side as that as well. We do see that weekly Stokes are pointed massively down right here and actually going to be cracking below the critical zone on the next tick, assuming that we just don't close above 65,000 bucks. Now, of course, closing above 65,000 bucks would also confirm above 63.5, which is, in my opinion, the more important number, and that would complete the bear trap on a higher term time frame scale. So that negates all of the inherent bearishness that we are dealing with right now. However, until that happens, I mean, Bitcoin can rally up all the way to 63, and I think it's going to, at the very least, rally up to 61, you know, rather easily, probably sometime this week or next week. And then we do play out that downside move towards the, you know, $51,000 to $52,000 area, and then perhaps lower than that over time. Now, here's the thing. So everyone always likes to say this, and I'm about to. This is so fucking egotistical, but it is kind of true, and I've definitely been guilty of this as well. But everyone likes to say on the crypto YouTubes, on the crypto Twitter, that why is no one looking at this? I'm the only one looking at this. I'm the only person who's found this one little secret in the charts. Like, shut the fuck up. No, this is a big market here, obviously, but there is one thing that I think very few people are considering right now that I think is a potential over the next few months here. Again, with the generalized notion, at least for myself, that the data suggests that we probably won't see the top of this market cycle until middle of next year at the earliest, and at latest maybe like Q4 Q4 of next year. I think that this one is quite different, especially granted off the video that I put out last night. But what are people probably not considering as much? You know, this can take a lot longer. I think I saw a tweet last night saying Bitcoin did not consolidate for 6 months below $60,000 just to put in a high at 69. Maybe that's true. Maybe, to consider this, fuckface. Sorry, man. I still love you, sir. Consider this, though. Perhaps we are consolidating for 12 months under 60,000 between our current low side structure. And it could be something like this where, bastard, let me just do it over here. There we go. It could be something like this where it comes down, boom, puts in a higher low right there around the 55, and then moves up. And then you'd have what? You'd have one massive ascending triangle over a long period of time. That would be a great technical structure. And, well, that would look pretty fucking good. I mean, that is a possibility, and that would still be long-term bullish for Bitcoin. And that would also account for Bitcoin coming down, you know, into the mid $40,000 territory yet again. Is it possible? Yes. Is it probable? Well, as long as Bitcoin's living below, of course, especially 65,000 bucks on a weekly, well, consolidation at best, and at worst, I mean, we've seen the all-time high right here. Now, do I think that we're going to see the all-time high of this cycle right here? No. Again, I think that that's very unlikely based off of the video that I put out yesterday night. Again, that's just not what the data shows. So, you know, it's also the other thing is like a lot of people, I shouldn't say everyone, but a lot of people are saying market's going to end December, and very specifically December 20th, because that's the evil day where most markets have ended. Yeah, that is true. But however, that's just not what the data actually suggests for this time. Now, the last past ones did suggest that based off of the actual structure, based off of the actual indications, and based off of the history as well, actually, was playing towards that. And if you just extrapolate that to these dates with our current information, it actually does not suggest that. And this would not be like, you know, a toppy, like the most obvious toppy formation right here. I mean, again, you want to see your tops typically on volume in this case. We don't have that. Yes, we do have bearish divergence on the weekly, but you know, I want to see that these are like very, very obvious signatures, which we don't necessarily have right now. I mean, for example, our last top, and typically tops in general and bottoms are put on extremely high volatility. And this is your 2017 high right here. We are nowhere near that right here. Yes, we did hit it on our first major high over here, but Bitcoin's already taken out that high. So that obviously by definition is not the high. So I do think that that matters quite a fair bit. And again, that's just postulating for the long term. Of course, what's more relatable? What's more actionable? The short term. That's what no one wants to fucking talk about, because it's easier to macro bullshit but not micro bullshit. I can assure you of that. That's why there's a lot of macro bullshit economists, and economists only exist to make astrologers look good. Or maybe I got that one backwards. Astrologers only exist to make economists look good. Whatever it is, I believe the witches. And you know what? That goddamn blood moon, that fucking beaver moon, man, that beaver moon done goofed on us, man. Holy fuck. I think it was a blood moon actually, so that means bad. Who knows though, man? Who knows? Anyways, as far as short-term time frame ranges, can we work off this chart right here? What was the one that I was using over the weekend? I mean, that one was actually working rather well. Was it here? Was it there? Whatever it was, we can just go back to CME. Again, CME is actually pretty damn easy with this one. You know, I'd be kind of expecting today more or less a range between our highs about 58.5 and our lows at about 56,000 bucks. Bitcoin probably does come back down around and test around the lows. However, I don't think that Bitcoin's going to be like breaking down to massively new lows anytime, or I wouldn't say anytime soon, but probably not today or tomorrow or maybe even this week. I think that Bitcoin very likely puts in a bounce, something like this actually, you know, where you come down there, put in some bullish divergence on a 4 hour. That would be a really, really good sign. Bounce back up, boom, and do something like that. My old LARP line's working right there. Look, these sort of things, great. The reason why people do these sort of things is because it gets a lot of great views and whatnot on YouTube and Twitter, because people want like a fucking guide to follow. These aren't real. I call them LARP lines because it's just ridiculous. I mean, what it is, price action can take a million different forms, and what I'm just looking at is the interaction between support and resistance for these more short-term time frame ranges. I do think that Bitcoin very likely does test $61,000 prior range highs before doing anything significant to the downside. And personally speaking, I do think that Bitcoin probably actually breaks to the upside and we get a real run around 60, 63, maybe even 64,000 bucks. And then the question is, does Bitcoin, fail there or not? If it does, that's going to be the most obvious signal, at least in my opinion, for the next major move down, for probably at least a $10,000 move to the downside. Again, where would I be looking towards? Well, at minimum, the weekly 21, and that is coming in about 52,000 bucks. And everyone knows about the good old weekly 21 meme on the weekly right here, of which, and I'm just referring to the yellow moving average right here. Generally speaking, during your bullish markets, you like to kind of put in your lows around that region, and generally during your bullish markets, we typically see about a 30% 30% correction to that region as well. I mean, I'll just pick out a few ones from this past one in 2017. You can see this first one right here, about 31.75%. You see this one over here, about 26%. You can see this one over here, about 33%. You get the idea, and I can assure you that they're all pretty much around the same. Anyways, if we were to shave off about that current, from my current highs, where would the 21 put us around? About 25%. That is reasonable. 30% puts us, around 48,000 bucks. So I do think that Bitcoin very likely does try for a low somewhere right around there over the next month and a half or something like that. And one thing that I do want to say is that, and I'm not saying this to toot my own horn, but you've never heard me say probably like, or at least something that I'd stand by, like in a more serious tone, like Bitcoin needs to get $100,000 before end of year. No, that's ridiculous. There's no time component really of that. And people who are trying to like fit that in there, I just like, I've listened to some of those analyses, and I always think to myself, that's kind of grasping for straws. It doesn't really, like, I'm not seeing the flow and the connection between those two precipices. Anyways, again, I want to be extremely fucking deliberately clear here, though. Hey, Bitcoin back above 63,500. I would confirm all of this as one massive, major bear trap, and we can start to talk about, Plan B targets yet again. Again, I don't know about the timeframes on those, but I think that they would be relevant. Basically, 100,000 plus or whatever within the next few months upon completion of that. And of course, over here on our lower term time frame momentum oscillators, we do see that daily Stokes will actually cross back up with any sort of a closure today above 57.5. So if I were to kind of, do the old LARP lines for today, what I would be essentially looking for is maybe one more retest around our lows. Maybe we've even already seen that. And then if we get any sort of a daily closure above 57.5, then I would be looking for Bitcoin to complete the bounce at minimum 61,000 bucks, probably does even overtake that region, and then initiate moves towards 63, 64ish. And then the question is, do we see weakness there or not? If we do, well, you probably can figure out what the fuck I'm doing. Not that I would necessarily say exactly what I'd be doing there, because that might be considered financial advice, and I'm not a financial advisor. But yeah, until that area is regained, I mean, anything is just a lower high. And shit, if you want to be super exact with it, you could even say that 65,500 is the real area for a bear trap. Technically speaking, those people would be right. Although I do think that it would be front runnable just based off of the fibs. I mean, that's exactly what we did see back on over here in May and April of this past year, right? Bitcoin was in its uptrend, low, higher low, higher low. Boom, we come down, make your first lower low right here, and you find your real low right here, and then you bounce back up into the classic bull trappy area at the 618 Fibonacci retracement, and that was right there at that 58,000 or so dollar high. And right now, where would that same area be? That would be somewhere around about actually, hold on. Let's actually do it for this chart because I'm on a different chart yet again. My bad. 63,500 as we did just look at. And let me just get rid of that one because that is not relevant towards what I'm currently talking about. Okay, what about the other lower term time frame momentum oscillators as we are currently here? Well, we do see that 4 Stokes are actually face down, ass up right now below 59,250. Now this is spot price action. I don't trust that one as much as I do CME, especially during these times. And we do see that CME will actually be upside angled as long as below 56,650. So again, what does that likely look like? Bitcoin probably comes back down around and tests there, and then, well, we probably do get a bounce. Now, if I'm wrong about that, how will you know? Well, it's actually going to be pretty damn obvious if I'm going to be wrong about that. I want to see a full hour closure, not necessarily on new lows, but I want to see it below our prior range lows in this region, that being about 56.5 on a full hour. Probably could use 55,000 bucks even, to be fair. And if that does happen, yes, I would be looking for big legs down. 51 to 52,000 bucks, and that's the next bounce area. I do not subscribe to the belief that Bitcoin bounces at 53. I think way too many people are looking at that region, and I also don't think that it's that relevant to begin with, to be honest with you. I'm just not fucking seeing it, man. This is like one of those few times where I think there's actually a great dearth of difference between many people doing analysis on this asset right now. But basically what I would be looking at is I'd be looking at the 382 right here, retracement for the general run, starting from 40,000 bucks, ending at about 69,000 bucks right here, as I would kind of like that region. So right now, we're still kind of bouncing off the 618, and fair enough. I think that we're very likely to bounce off this region yet again. It's very unlikely to kind of break it on this first test down around the 55 essentially, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. And of course, looking at daily RSI, we're kind of getting into what would be an interesting area here, more or less because we do have this trend line coming in right around there. Obviously, it's not going to be super exact, but we do see a lot of bounces around that region, so I would be cognizant of that, obviously. And what else can we get into? Also, daily Jewel, while it does still have downside caution here. You're in a more bouncy area than not. So I'm a lot more inclined to say that Bitcoin's likely to bounce after maybe one more swipe and sweep of the low, scare the shit out of everyone, get them all bearish yet again, and then flip it back around. And then the easy trade right here is actually, dare I say, the easy trade. I mean, there's no such thing as a fucking easy trade now, is there? It's about 58,500, even on an hourly closure, I would say. That's going to be get continuation to your last prior range highs at about 61 to 61.5. And then, you know, I'd be looking for a little bit of a pullback after that and then come back to it later. Although I do think that Bitcoin would eventually probably do some busting action on through. And then the real question is, okay, you know, are we putting a lower high or not? If that happens, that's going to be pretty damning. And I don't think that Bitcoin's going to be done doing its whole corrective phase here for, you know, a while. I think at minimum we'd see like maybe late December for another try to the upside. Probably more realistic to say Q1 of 2022. But again, you know, what's the best way to just piss everyone off in this market? It's to go sideways and consolidate. And I mean, that's all that it would really be over here, to be fair. So, you know, do be aware of that, for the simple fact that, you know, it's assets are more likely to range and consolidate about 70 to 80% of the time rather than trend, just so you know. So it is just more likely is what it is. Anyways, okay, cool. All right, so we've spoken about that. I think I've talked your head off already here. I've probably not been too lucid with my explanations because I feel like I was jumping around all the different timeframes there, so I do apologize about that. I just want to briefly check out our other very low term timeframe momentum oscillators. Yeah, we got hourly coming down right here below 58.5, and so again, I do kind of look at this as likely to be a continuation test towards that region. So again, very, very short term, very likely one more test to the downside. I don't think that things are ready to like fully break down. Would be looking for a bounce off that region, and then, you know, the next order of operations essentially flows, and then just be aware of the higher term timeframes and where those major pivots are. Okay, cool. All right, so there was the non-financial advice for the first 30 minutes or so. I'm going to turn on the alerts over here and let's see what we got going on right now.
Hey, sir.
What? What?
Please, Danielle.
What is it?
Can you check the fourth comment from Dan from Cooper about Phoenix?
Okay, I've made an account through the link, but I can't find where to redeem it on Phemex. Oh, okay, so you're talking about the Phemex link. Yeah, man, so you just by using the link and then depositing a loan, you should be able to get it. That's all that I understand about that. You actually have to make a deposit, obviously. Like, they want you to, you know, put some onto it. So yeah. Anyways, let's see. Okay, let's see. Where do we start off today? Rolando, Mr. Rolando, good morning to you, sir. Happy Monday, sir. Is Gala likely to reach 41 cents shortly? Oh, man, we got rent to pay today, it sounds like. Seems 4 hours still okay. Love videos on charts to watch. Now you know, yeah, I absolutely love collaborating with Elliot. Love that guy, man. He's great. Okay, cool. So you're looking at Gala and you need 41 cents soon, I guess. Well, let's see if that's likely. No. Well, actually, sorry. No, I spoke too soon. I'm very dismissive of shit like that, but I'm probably, well, look, this one's putting in a top a lot sooner rather than later. Do you get one more run at 41 cents? Perhaps yes. I don't think that would be asking for too much right here. Yeah, it's probably likely to bounce right here yet again. And 41 cents is certainly within the realm of possibility within this next 24 to 48 hours right here. And there is an invalidation on that below about 35 cents in this case. Short term, I think it's going to bounce up here regardless of whether you're bullish or bearish. You do have some hidden bullish evidence actually formulating right there, and volatility is about to tick back up again. So personally speaking, I do think that you will test a little bit above there. But daily and other higher term timeframes suggest that this one's topping out a lot sooner rather than later. Daily BBWP is absolutely fucking redline to the gills. Daily RSI is about as high as it's ever gotten, and daily Joules even getting a little bit of a warning signal right there, not necessarily a downside signal, however. Anyways, Kathleen White says, good morning from Boston instead of Puerto Rico. Nice. Hey, sweet. Are you from Boston yourself? Because that place is a very interesting place. Great accents, though. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well. Will you celebrate there? Probably not. No. Elsa one time tried to find a pumpkin pie. Couldn't do it. So no Thanksgiving here. Anyways, AVAX, please, daily and weekly. Yeah, we can do that one. That would actually be a really good one to follow up on because I am interested in that one myself. And, ooh, wow, man. This thing didn't just hit our targets. It smashed our fucking targets, didn't it? Yeah, right there. It's at the 1.618. All right, cool. Yeah, let's record this one. This one always is fun to do. Here we have Avalanche, symbol AVAX versus the dollar, and we've hit our long-term, actually macro target based off of the break of about $100 that we saw last week. That would be at the 2.618 right here, just around the mid to low $140 region. Now, with that said, this one's still actually showing strength, and while typically speaking, I would be looking for more prolonged consolidation upon hitting that major area right there and fulfilling that target, this one's actually still, dare I say, looking good. And looking at the daily right here, I'm not really seeing exactly what I want to see on a major macro high. I really want to see volatility, at least in the 90 percentiles, especially on, you know, a parabolic move like this. And right now, for reference, we are 86.51 percentile, still pretty good, right? But I don't think that we've seen it just yet. And even the daily RSI is still making new highs on this rally. Yes, at some point we will have long-term bearish divergence, but this probably aligns with, you know, maybe at least another try at our current all-time highs and probably one more new all-time high. Looking at the 4-hour right here, there's a very obvious and easy sort of setup for an invalidation, which would be below about 123 on a closure. I would be looking for a pullback all the way down to $1.09, a $1.10 region. Until then, sideways above 123 is good for the BULAs and very likely does beget at least one more test around our current highs. And to be honest with you, I would not call this anything resembling like a major high just yet. We're just getting some warning signals for right now. The weekly, how did that one close? Obviously good. I wouldn't be surprised to see new all-time highs this week, actually. This is really, really good right here. So let's see, what would be the next set of targets on a break of yesterday's high? So I wouldn't say that this one's probably ready to like make new all-time highs this second, but if you do break above yesterday's high, which was 147, I suppose next areas that I'm looking towards is a $1.60, and then above there, things get a lot more crazy towards 180 to 190, in fact. More like 180 to 200, if anything, or even then, I mean, Jesus Christ, man, that's getting like, that's a little bit too much. Let's see what it looks like over here, just out of curiosity. Because this one is just, I mean, balls deep strong right now. Daily, or sorry, hourly's back up, but yeah, that's not really relevant for the long term. 4 hours, just a little bit of correction, that's fine. Daily will cross down below 140.5, okay. 5-day, gonna cross down below 116, not a threat right now. Weekly, gonna cross down below 118, yeah, also not a threat right now as well. What do we see over here? I do like this chart when things are trending, so let's see what she shows today. And I mean, the weekly just got its first closure above the topside Toronto band on this current run. I have to be looking for, again, trend continuation along volatility expansion along time, as long as that condition is met. So I suppose I would extend targets. I just want to see last night's high taken out. Until then, just short-term sideways and invalidation below about a $1.23. Really, really good chart right here. Very impressive. Very, very impressive on AVAX. But this is, you know, this is going parabolic. So please understand that when it does top out, it's going to be absolutely fucking vicious. You know, it's going to be absolutely vicious, and probably going to come down all at the same time. And I would be looking, generally speaking, back towards $100 at minimum for the correction. But for now, very good, very, very good and powerful AVAX. Hopefully that's helpful. And there you go. Nice one. Mr. Orkasi, Mr. Farhan, I'm just going to say, seller, daily, weekly, fib target still valid. Let's see. How's this one actually held up in the last week since we last looked at it? Actually very well. Wow. I was not expecting that at all. In fact, this one putting in a bit of a, oh, I forgot to mention Mr. Plum's inverted head and shoulders, but I looked at it and I don't think I'd agree with it, man. Not everything's a fucking head and shoulders, sir. For the love of God, you and Mr. Hajan Lee love your head and shoulders. But fair enough. I mean, that you actually have been pretty damn good with them, Mr. Plums. Anyways, looking at this right here, yeah, do you think that this one's actually breaking out right now? So would those targets still be relevant? Oh, I forget exactly where they were because I don't see any targets here, but at least the prior highs of your September rally at about 20.5 cents or so. Above there, can things get a little more interesting? I mean, you would have a target based off of this as a falling channel. Well, that's basically going to be your highs. So that's basically it. Other than that, I don't think I really like, if we're looking at the macro, then I have some fib targets here, but where would it be? I guess on a break of $20 on a daily closure, yeah, I guess I'd be looking towards 30 to 40 cents. That's very long term though, so depends how far out you are, sir. The Real G Squared says we demand crowned NFTs without the dog. All right, Faraz, you're up, man. You're up, brother. Manuel Avina says EGLD price prediction. There's no such thing as a fucking price prediction. For the love of God, there's only statistics and probabilities. Holy shit. Don't get assuaged by these, or don't get. Oh, this is actually pretty good. It's pretty damn good. Probably looking towards 500 or so. Wow. Elrond, good. Very good. Wow. Powerful Elrond. Yeah, I guess I'm looking towards $500. Let's see. Am I getting any toppy signals just yet? Not quite. Do you want to record a video on this one? Maybe we don't, but well, maybe we do. We actually did our prior targets. All right, here we have Elron symbol EGLD versus the dollar, and it looks like we did hit our target from the last time that we looked at it, which must have been in like late October, I'm guessing, based off that right there. And now it looks like this one actually is going to initiate even harder targets than that. So I do want to check to see if this one is having toppy signals right here. Looking at daily BBWP, not quite yet. It is getting up there, yes, but I really want to see this get at least minimum 90 percentile and preferably 95 plus. Daily RSI, again, at some point you will have you won't have bearish divergence here. This thing is making new highs, so this one very likely goes for a new. This one very likely goes on a new tear, $500 plus. Next sort of major fibs that I have right here are 520 to, Jesus Christ, 600. That is for the macro, so that's not going to be relevant like today or tomorrow or probably even this week. But speaking of the week, the weekly is, well, good, as you might guess. Weekly RSI, again, at some point, probably gonna have some bearish divergence, but not there yet. We don't necessarily have a local high. Where do I invalidate this one as being bullish? This one actually very simple. Below about 345, this one gets invalidated on a daily closure with having its bullish setup. Until then, kind of have to still be looking sideways into the, or sorry, up into the right in this case. This is actually really, really good. I was rather surprised to see this. I do want to see some more relevant fibs for our current short-term formation right here, just to see. Yeah, still showing 500 plus actually. So maybe over the next couple of weeks, I guess that's where I'd be looking towards, assuming that the invalidation does not get hit. Weekly jewel, or sorry, 5-day and weekly jewel still, remain with upside posturing. Can't hate that. It's good. Short-term time frames very likely pull back from here, but pulling back to 380 is not a problem. Again, that invalidation, what was it, below 350 or 360? 335. Yes, this one's kind of far away right now, but yeah, still long-term pretty good actually. So hopefully that's helpful. And there you go for Elrond, sir. What's up, El Ray Leon, Long Beach in the house? There he is. Can you look at Volcan? Yeah, this thing, PYR. I remember we looked at this one last week at your request, and it was actually like surprisingly very good setup right there. So let's see if this one is still showing it. Yeah, pretty much. Again, there's not a whole hell of a lot of history here. You're asking for a weekly, sir. There's no weekly to be done on something that's been around for July. You did say on KuCoin maybe this one has more history. No, not really, but still generally a good long-term setup here for what it's worth. Just want to see it actually close a daily above about, what is it, 27 and some odd change, and then yeah, I'd be looking for the measure move off of this as a flag formation towards, what is this, like low 30s, mid to low 30s actually long term. Invalidated obviously below about 21 and a half, but yeah, one of the more interesting charts here. It's very bizarre to see this right now with Bitcoin not necessarily giving everyone the benefit of the doubt right there. What's up, Tor? Thank you for that, brother. Good to see you as well. Mr. Garrett G says, good morning. Good morning, sir. Can we look at VRA? Yes, velocity on the lower time frames. What does lower term time frame mean to you, sir? For some people, it means a 5-minute. For myself, it means an hourly. Bad. It looks bad, man, on the low-term time frames. This is a 4-hour. Very likely comes back down and tests around your current lows, 5.1 cent or so. Hourly says what? Oh, you also had a hidden bearish divergence right there too. Hourly also looks maybe one more short-term move to the upside. However, as long as you're below about 6.2 cent, not good. Daily, corrective at best. I mean, you do have a bit of a falling channel right there, but I don't know how much I trust that one. I do think that this one at minimum will test 5.5 cents yet again. Probably does bounce there, and then pray to Bula Jesus that the bounce is strong. Weekly is not bad long term, but you're asking about short-term time frames, so fair enough. I'll hold off on furthering that statement, sir. The Saturn Epoch says, oh my God, I just scratched my watch. Whoops. Rose USD, 1 hour and 4 hour. Rose is actually the Oasis network. Oh, okay, then that might be relevant because, let's see, was that the one that we saw on the dashboard today? Let's see. Let's just go back here and follow up on that. Yes, it is. So it must be good, or at least having a pretty damn good day. And yes, indeed it is. Holy shit. There you go. Very powerful right there. So not only did it hit the measure move, it exceeded it and is having a really, really good weekly closure on new all-time highs yet again. Let's see where we at. Just at the 2-spot extension. Yes, pullback there is likely. However, not looking for tops there. Looking for tops at mid to upper 50 cent region. Actually, it's really good. But you're looking at a 1 and 4 hour. All right. Let's see, 4 hour right here. Short term probably does trade a little bit sideways and down. Hourly, short term, very, very short term on an hourly probably does pop back up towards 41 cent or so. But I am just looking for a range over this next probably 24 hours between that 41 or 42 cent high and then this low right here. And anything between there is going to be, generally good right around here. But that does imply that it can come back down there. Again, higher term time frame still very, very good, however. What's up, Cecilia? Hey, Crown. Sorry to intrude. All good. But your moving averages really helps me follow streams, and I accidentally deleted it. Can you reshare? It's actually just available for free on here on TradingView. Just type in CTMAC. Yeah, there you go. And I'm just running a 9, a 21, and a 55, just so you know, just a 9, 21, and 55, all exponentials. Gemini Athlete says Matic 12-hour and 2-day. Man, I am interested to call up on this one because this one just had an epic fucking fail in the last couple of weeks here. Bad Matic. But still bouncing around this whatever proverbial trend line I had right here. That's the hopium on this one, I guess, but really needs to bounce like 2-day. Really don't want to see any closures below about 150. Let's see. So you're on a 2-day and a 12-hour. We just look at a 12-hour right there. 2-day does say that 2-day does say that we probably do have a local low right here. I wouldn't be looking for a break below 145 before first bouncing back up, probably towards 180, maybe even 190 if things get crazy. And yes, you will have hidden bullish evidence upon confirmation of this as a local low between this point and this point. So I'm inclined to say a lot more that this one bounces from here. We're seeing a lot of bouncy signatures on this one for what it's worth. So yeah, I think it bounces one more time, maybe after retesting exactly around our prior lows, and back above about 166 is where I'd really say, okay, this one does go for a nice run towards 180 minimum, maybe even more than that, towards 190, and then we come back to it after that. But for right now, here's the hopium still long term. I think that it's still valid and it's still there, but really do not want to see it close below its last daily low, which is about 150, I think, 150 or so, or 145. There he is, Gemini Athletes. He's back, BAT daily and 5-day. Okay, symbol BAT, basic attention token. What do we have over here? Short-term droopy and short-term and a long-term of this one looks at best consolidating right here. I would be looking for it to come back down to about 96, 97 cents or so. Weekly's good long-term. This is actually quite healthy long-term, but I think this one can go for a much more prolonged consolidation. You know, something like this is probably what you're doing. So that could imply another test down to like 76 cents, you know, if things get nasty. But I wouldn't necessarily be looking for major downside moves as long as you're closing above about 95, 96 cents on a daily. Until then, just short-term, very likely retest there. Maybe you get another bounce and, you know, it runs with Bitcoin on a bounce as well, possible. But I think it is a lot more destined to come down around there over time. Although I'd still be looking at the overall ranges. And there he is, Mr. Ian Terry. What's up, man? AVAX USD got it a $20 average. When to exit? Yeah, you're fine. You're good, man. We just looked at it earlier. I'm sure that you were here for that. So all good there. But man, that's some fucking powerful trading. It certainly would not hurt, however. And of course, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but it certainly would not hurt to take a little bit of profits along the way. You know, you can't really go broke doing that. Anyways, Sinegra Olai is saying, is Crown trading his real account options the same way he does his testnet account? I don't know. Maybe I am. But maybe that might be considered financial advice, so I will leave it right there, perhaps. Anyways, Simply Gain says, how can you be high-term time frame bullish on Ethereum, Bitcoin, and also high-term time frame bullish on Bitcoin dominance? Also, can you look at IOI daily and 3-day? One fucking question at a time. God damn it, we'll look at your shitcoin. For the love of God, because the market can bifurcate, man. Like, it's not that, to be honest, no offense, but I mean, the market can bifurcate, right? So I don't think that that's like too out of the question. You know, you can see some pairs that are bullish, some pairs that are bearish. I think that we are going to see bifurcation on a greater scale now too, where most coins actually go and continue their trend down towards zero, and then you'll see the strong ones actually, you know, put in some pretty big rallies, which would be Ethereum, for example, among other things like AVAX as well. Anyways, IOI, pretty good, very good here. It looks like it's breaking above your macro area as well, or at least macro for a chart that's only been around for this long. Looks like it's retesting right here too. I'm bullish on this thing as long as it's about 3.25 or so. Looking pretty damn good. You know, do I have general targets or something like this? Probably not. It's a little bit too new, but yeah, I mean, I do respect that. It's on volume as well, so I'm inclined to say this one does get follow through. No real targets or anything like that to look at on something like this. Just it's a little bit too new for something like that, but it is good. It is good, at least for the history that we do have there. No. What the fuck? Don't send me these chats. More MV1 says, yo, Boof Boys. Hello, Boof Boys. Can you check spell one for the Booferine Boys? Need my fucking internet, boys. Can you check Spell 1 4-hour and daily midnight sale? Yep. Sent you DM on IG. I don't really look at Instagram, man, so it's really not the best way to contact me. If you absolutely must contact me, the best way to do it is via email, which is in the link description below. But Instagram, I do not respond to typically, unless if it's like very pertinent. It's just too much, man. I can't keep up with all the fucking social medias. I really despise it, and I'm like trying to consolidate my social media use. So I just use YouTube and Twitter basically now. Yeah, Elsa actually runs the Instagram, so you'll be talking with her. But maybe that's what you want to be doing. So fair enough. Anyway, Spell. No chart. Maybe we go over here. Here we go. We got a chart, and it looks bad. It looks pretty bad. Let's see. You're looking at a 1 4 on daily. Well, daily's bad, but short-term bouncy very likely gets back up to 2.1 cent. 4 hour, same thing. Bouncy has a little bit of an inverted head and shoulders here. Yep, 2.1 to 2.2 cent. Hourly, same shit. Short-term bouncy. Long-term, very bearish as long as below, especially 3 cents. But I don't know. This one's a little bit too new to really even be looking at a daily anyways, so not all that helpful, unfortunately. What's up, Jack? Jack, there he is. Ethereum, Bitcoin, 4 hour and daily. Yes, man. Yes, this one is one of the more interesting charts. And what do you know? Bounce it back up there. It's oh so close, man. It's oh so fucking close. But still need to see a closure above 7.4 million Satoshis, and I'd love to see, it's not that I'd love to, but I'd be looking for a move towards 7.7 to 7.8 million Satoshis. Above there, that's where the macro breakout area is, and I think that that's probably happening within the next month or two. I mean, the weekly had a phenomenal closure right there. Didn't get the bullish engulfing that we wanted, obviously, which would have made things a lot more easy as far as probabilities go, but still pretty damn good nonetheless. And I'm very bullish on this thing as long as you're above 6.9 million Satoshis. Short-term timeframes, or sorry, daily. I mean, volatility is still on the ground. I mean, the second that thing expands, especially along breaking 7.4, I don't think it's going to stop at like 7.8, if not for anything else than just like a short-term pullback, and then long-term very likely breaks out. 4 hour time frame, as you requested. Just put in a little bit of a higher low right here, it looks like to me. Do we have anything obvious alongside that? No, not necessarily. That would have made it a little bit easier. Short-term time frames aren't as interesting on this one, to be fair, but I do think that you do have a nice little low side structure, about 7.2 million Satoshis below there. I guess I'd look for one more drive towards 7 million even, and that's kind of like the must-hold area, I do suppose, as I really don't want to see a closure below there. That would invalidate its current great long-term setup, actually, even on a 4 hour in that case. Jesse LaJolie says mana. Okay, you said 4 hour and daily. I got trapped scalping big at 424 as I missed my sell by 10 cents. So I think I'm a bag holder now, or community member, as they're also known. This is where you go into fucking Reddit and you start typing, guys, mana did not hit my sell. What can I do to help the community here, to help the price actions? Anyways, this one's, I don't know like what the exact question is, but you were scalping big at 424. So you literally bought the high. You didn't sell when you got the rejection right here. Not good, man. It is going to bounce back up here, though. It's still pretty fucking good, to be fair. Anyways, here we have Decentraland, symbol MANA versus the dollar. 4 hour time frame showing a little bit of hidden bullish divergence upon closure, at least at this level, 380 or higher by the next hour and 7 minutes and 29 seconds. And I would be looking for a continuation move back up to about $4 or so. This one continues on with the general uptrend. Actually, very, very good here. Daily, long term, good. Long term, however, I'm not necessarily convinced that this one is ready to trend yet again. Until you do basically close above about 430 in this case. At that point, I would be looking for some more long-term targets to get met, but this one is showing, I think, more consolidation behaviors than not right here. But next target would be somewhere around about $4.75 to $5 if that condition is met, and I do think, generally speaking, long-term, you will get around there. And I would invalidate the short-term setup below 360 in this case. Below 360, I do look for another move back down to 315. It's not bad for the long-term, just would imply that this one does go for a much more prolonged consolidation. This one's macro bullish as long as above about 220, same as before. Weekly, how did it close? Decent, but starting to show a little bit of signs of slowdown here. So I do think that we're getting close to the top of this rally. If not, we're already there. Weekly BBWP got all the way up to 97.5 percentile. That is definitely concerning. Daily got all the way up to 100, and now is kind of topping out at like 90 percentile or so. So I'm a little more inclined to say that this one probably does trade sideways at best here. But technically speaking, I should be more immediately bullish on this one as long as it's above about 360 or sorry, 355. I apologize. I got it wrong earlier. I think I said 350 or sorry, 360. It's 355 on a 4-hour closure. Below there, this one very likely does play at a much more prolonged correction before any sort of tries to get into the upside. Long term, I still like it, but long term, you know, could mean trying for new highs like late December or early January if this one does start to show more and more signals of consolidation here, which I think we're just getting our first etchings of it, but I'd still respect the 4-hour until proven otherwise. And I guess still have the long-term targets in mind, just be aware of the invalidation right there, and hopefully that was helpful for Mana. Sweet, man. Winnie Choice 87 says, hey, what's up, man? Gallo, we already looked at that one at the beginning, so I think I'm just getting to this a little bit later. What's up, Paul Mingini? Definitely Italian. And thank you, man. I'm wishing you the best as well, sir. OMI. Okay, OMI. What is this? EcoMe. All right, yes, we've seen this one in the past. Still, it's actually pretty good here on a daily, but I do think that it is consolidating at best right now. We do see our similar high side structure at about 81,000, whatever, basically 0.1%. And if you are bullish, probably looking at something like this, that would imply you really do not want to see any sort of a daily closure below 6.4 cents, or sorry, 6.4. I'm just going to say it like that, okay? These numbers are too confusing for my very minimal brain power, and short-term very likely does test around about 6.5, 6.6 region, but I would invalidate this as a setup below about 6.4 and look for moves back down around your lows from late October. Until then, this one is actually showing some pretty good signals long-term. Daily BBWP on the ground, as this one does essentially put in higher lows, is a pretty damn good signal, and breaking above your top side resistance here at about 81,000 would probably imply another move towards, you know, your prior highs at almost a cent, a little bit above a cent. You know, it's actually pretty good here, to be fair. Got to give it the benefit of it, or it's not necessarily the benefit of the doubt. This one genuinely has like a decent setup amongst many other things in this market, which are, you know, kind of trading sideways at best. Hopefully that was helpful, sir. What's up, Mr. Radu Stefan? He says, oh, I did turn on the alerts. Nice. All right, sweet. Coin operated says Elrond to 1,000. Yeah, that sounds realistic. That's gotta pay rent, man. Gotta pay rent. Breaking even today. Just kidding, man. But like, you don't. I'm just curious. Like, just out of curiosity. I'm not trying to be a dickhead towards you, but what are you trying to accomplish with a comment like that? Are you trying to get other people to think, oh shit, it actually is going to $1,000. I should buy. I want to pay rent as well. I don't know. If it really was going to $1,000, I wouldn't tell anyone else if I knew that myself, because then I could accumulate as much as I wanted without destroying the markets. It's something to consider, man. Seems a little bit strange. Anyways, Rod. I would tell, well, I would tell people on the stream because I don't fucking trade it. I don't care. But and for Bitcoin, like, I don't have to care about liquidity because it's like $1 trillion asset now. It's not an issue. It hasn't been an issue for years. Anyways, Radu Stefan says, can you look at $1 on the 4-hour and daily? Sure, man. $1. That rent, man, that fucking pesky rent. All right, 1 hour. Okay, so no weekly on this one, although the weekly is actually showing some good stuff here, to be fair. But hey, I will address your request anyways. Daily right here, looking good. And to be fair, Elrond does look good. I don't know about fucking $1,000 though. Like, what the hell, man? Doggy coin also to $10. All right, fair enough. Anyways, should we record this one or not? No, I think I'll hold off on this one for today. But it is actually okay here. Anyways, as long as you're also between about 24 cents and 33 cents, I actually do like the setup, and I would be biased towards an upside resolution over time. Weekly did have a decent closure, and I am going to be definitely bullish on this one as long as it's above 27 cents. Bless you, sir. And you know, I just want to see it break above and hold above 33 cents on a daily closure, and then yes, a measure move up towards 41 cents in line with your 1.618 Fibonacci extension is very likely, and then perhaps more long-term continuation over time, invalidated below about 24 cents or so. If you're on a 4-hour time frame, 4-hour time frame might get one more test towards the top side resistance, but I don't think it's ready to break just yet. You are kind of working off extreme conditions right here, so I don't think this is like a breakout setup on this particular drive. I think it trades sideways here for a longer time and then gives a move to the upside. Maybe tries later this week actually. possible there. Zen Bull Trading says Rose USD. We just got that one. Very nice there. One of the bigger winners for today too. Andrew Mo says, hey Crown, what's up, man? Nice avatar today. Thank you. I appreciate that. You look like Chucky from Rugrats. Nice. That's exactly what I'm going. It actually looks like, because Elsa has this little like Christmas wreath behind me, it looks like my hair is even more of a mop and bird's nest shit. It's great, man. Real fucking good. KDA 1 hour and 4 hour and daily and weekly. Sure. So this was, yeah, Cadena, and this was the one that looked like it topped out. Yes, and I still believe that it has topped out here. By the way, I fixed my ears, man. It's a goddamn miracle, and I absolutely love it. Being able to hear is amazing. I have to tell you. The doctor kind of fixed it. He was putting like metal rods in my ears, and it was actually still blocked after that. Then I actually fixed it through the sauna. Anyways, look, I'll give you the hopium on this one. I don't think that this is what's happening. I do think that this one is, I do think that this one has topped out here. But the hopium is that you consolidate sideways between about $15.50 and $23.50, and then take it out to the upside and, well, new optimize, obviously. I'll tell you why I don't think that's what's happening here. Multiple extreme conditions on daily BBWP. This one's already like gone fucking parabolic, by the way. This is your linear chart. That looks like a top. Looks like a top. Daily RSI. Had a little bit of bearish divergence at the highs right there. Obviously, that's already played out. It's probably going to bounce relatively soon. 4 hour time frame, droopy as fuck. Very likely tests around $15.50 first before bouncy bounce, but I do think that it will bounce at least one more time there. Let's go check out momentum oscillators just to see if they agree or not, because that makes things a little bit more easy. Weekly hard down below $26. Yep, I'm still sticking with my top call here, man. Daily hard down as long as below $23.75. Again, at best this thing is ranging. At worst this thing is breaking down big, and I do think that long term you will find your way at minimum down to like $8.50. I don't think that things are actually going to stop there long term. I mean, typically what happens after a parabolic blow off top like this, which I do think that you've seen, is this thing's going to come down somewhere around like, you know, below $5, honestly. I do think that that happens over time, but it's probably going to trade sideways here for a while first, so I'd give it another chance to bounce. And hey, I will be wrong. I will be wrong and invalidate it above $23.50 on a daily close. Until then, you know, well, good luck. Hopefully that was helpful, sir. What's up, Matthew? Matthew H. Appreciate that, man, but also feel free to have a message, sir. Cake long-term outlook says human V1. Nice. Speaking to a human, that's good. Don't get too much of an opportunity to do that. Not great. Not great, man. Is this a swap coin? A swap? It is a fucking swap, isn't it? It's pancake swap. It is pancake swap, actually. No WAP for this one. Bad. Real fucking bad. Long-term outlook, definitely weak, definitely a laggard. Will probably bounce relatively soon, if not like pretty much right here. But not great, man. Definitely very, very weak compared to the rest of the market. Oh, Jesus Christ. Let me just look at this one right here. There you go. I do think that it probably, or sorry, I wouldn't say that it probably, but I wouldn't be calling this one to like fully and massively break down until you actually break below $12.50. Until then, you know, is there hopium on this one? Yeah, the hopium is that you bounce right here, and then the bounce just magically brings you back above about $24. But well, it's possible, I guess. It's a lot more likely to bounce here. Look, it's a lot more likely to bounce here. Give it a chance. I would invalidate a bounce below about $12.50. Until then, this one's probably going to bounce back up somewhere around the upper teens, low 20s, and then we get to play the game of, is this a failure or not? But for right now, very, very weak. This is not like the strong get stronger and the weak get weaker, man. If Bitcoin shows any sort of a downside move, which I don't think is actually going to break down just yet here, this thing will get absolutely crushed. And when I say crushed, I mean back down certainly below $10, probably somewhere around $7 to $8. It looked very, very bad. Hubris the God says, AMP USD 4 hour daily weekly, where could it bottom before moon? Well, there's no promises that it will moon after bottoming. It could just bottom and then find some more bottoms after that. Lower, however. Let's see. Terrible. God awful, man. What the fuck? What? Sir, I trusted you to show me a good chart. And we have shitty charts. We have very shitty charts. Wow. I thought the last chart was a laggard and very weak. This one is not just weak. It's fucking abysmal, man. This is a dumpster fire of a chart. Holy fuck. This one's closer to trending towards zero than it is trending towards the upside anytime soon. But look, Is this thing likely to get another try alongside the rest of the market? Yes, but it's going to require an extremely strong broad market in order for it to do anything of particular note. And there's no bullishness talked about on this one as long as you're below about 8.5 cent. Below there, or sorry, above there, yeah, you could see maybe another big rally towards 16 cent. But even then, man, something that just didn't even get anywhere fucking near as 2017 to 2018 highs, just garbage, just fucking garbage. Like, this is a garbage chart, absolute fucking garbage. This is a dead heartbeat is what it is, man. And this is what most coins from 2017 and 2018 look like. The ones that have survived, they actually look pretty damn good because that would imply relative strength, obviously. But in this case, this would not be one of them at all whatsoever. The hopium is a move back above 8.5 cent. Where's your next low? You might have even seen it right here again, especially if Bitcoin does bounce, which it looks like it's bouncing a little bit right now. You know, it's probably gonna have a chance. I wouldn't necessarily be calling like this a low just yet, but you know, I also, this thing's been beat up so much, man. It's like, how much more can it get beat up before it just gets a pity bounce? Below about 4 cents, I look for this one to come down catastrophically yet again, somewhere around about 2 cents, and then maybe tries for another low there. But it's so fucking close to zero that would be a good place to be looking for a low. That's a great place to be looking for a low. Just doesn't imply that it's going to be going to moon, sir. I don't think that I'll say something quite significant right here. Sorry, not quite significant, but quite direct and damning. And look, I can be wrong about this, obviously. Like, I can be wrong about anything, and that's why I offer up invalidations. First things first, above 16 cents, and then second thing second, above 33.5 cents. But this thing will never see $1 ever again, ever. I'd be surprised to even see it back towards like half a buck. I think it's a little bit more probabilistic, although, you know, that's just by the nature of probabilities. Anyways, terrible, fucking god awful, man. Very, very weak. And if Bitcoin shows any weakness, this thing's going to get just shish kebab to hell, where it belongs. J3F says Sol daily and 4 hour. Wishing you the best as well, sir. And again, I'm just talking about charts, Mr. Hubris to God. You hopefully have differentiated yourself from the charts, so please do not take that personally. But as far as charts go, it's one of the ones that I think has no, I mean, look, we've actually seen some good charts today, man. And the good charts today are the ones that are going to be a lot better if and when Bitcoin actually does turn around. So that's what I'd say about that, man. It is fucking AIDS in the eyes. I would 100% agree, Moon Raccoon. It's quite disgusting. Anyways, Solana. All right, is this, what did I chart this for? Maybe the weekly. Yeah. All right, let's redo this chart for the ones that you're asking for. Weekly, are we seeing a major high right here? We do have potentially 1, 2, 3 drops of bearish evidence, but I wouldn't say it's confirmed just yet. Weekly closure below 210 would do it for me, however, so it is getting very close there. But short term, this one's bouncy. Showing better signs short term. I wouldn't mind one more test down around your 195 or 190 low right here. That's completely fine. I would be looking for another bounce there if it did happen. Until then, this one's actually showing a pretty good strength right here short term, just based off this bounce. But above 236, I would say that you're no longer range bound and very likely going to reclaim your prior range highs, which would be over here at around 250 or so. That's going to look really good on the daily, weekly, and above and everything. Until then, I think that there's maybe a possibility of one more test down just around 200 or just below 200 bucks. But I wouldn't be looking for a breakdown just yet. This one's still long term. Well, it's starting to look a lot more toppy on the monthly right there. Bi-weekly, same thing kind of as well. I still give it a chance just because it is Solana after all and powerful Sam, but yeah, I really only get bearish on this one, like calling the macro highs in, and we're getting ready for big retracements down to like $1.35. I'd only call that unless if this one actually breaks and closes below about 190 or 185 or so. Until then, sideways short term is good. Even short term, it kind of looks like it wants to pop back up towards your prior range highs, which would obviously be a lot more great for the long term. Heidi Ho says, any chance of taking a look at CSPR? Well, of course, sure. Just one though, man, just one, as we humbly request on the pinned message, which I mean, I never read pinned messages either, so can't really blame anyone for not doing that. Good though, at least here for the daily, short term. This one actually is turning the corner and breaking out. Might be looking for a very short term pullback at around 18.5 to 19 cents, but ultimately this one does look like it's ready to run. We do see hidden bullish evidence on the daily right here, back in the bullish control zone. Volatility is increasing, and you're just about above your prior range highs, which is 18 cents. So a daily closure above there, we're looking for a minimum rally towards 23 cents, and probably does continue onwards and forwards from there. Don't know how excited I'd get about this one long term, but above there, I guess I'd be looking towards 36 cents. It was actually looked pretty good. And again, there is an invalidation on this one, very, very simply put, below 13.5 cents. So this one actually acting better in the short term, actually. Not bad. AEAD says, hi, Mr. Crown Sir. Just Crown Sir here. Could you look at RMRK? Okay. You panic sold at 34.85 and looking for a re-entry. Well, I don't know what your strategies are, what time frame you're looking like, or like, are you holding this for forever? Are you holding this for just a few days? You panic sold below 34.85. So I guess you did that today, maybe. Let's see. Are we building some hidden bullish evidence? No. Short term, yeah, I do think it's going to pop back up here, but I don't know if this one's ready to trend just yet. I don't really have a helpful analysis for you on this one, because what I would say is that it's having a really good reaction off this last pullback, and I would say that this one is getting ready to continue to new all-time highs. I guess we could maybe pull an extension for this one. Yeah, okay, we can actually do something a little bit useful. With any sort of a daily closure today above about $38, I would say that this one's very likely getting ready for another run towards 40 and potentially more over time, although I'm a lot more inclined to look at this as probably putting in a local high right here, because if you do close below yesterday's low, which is $35, you will confirm bearish divergence on the daily RSI, and you are getting to extreme conditions on BBWP. And at that point, I'd be looking for another general sideways and downside move towards $29 to $28 or so. Until then, I think this one actually has a chance just because the short-term timeframes are showing strength here, but yeah, I guess it does have a chance here. So that's just kind of what's at stake if that condition is met. Until then, I kind of am looking for sideways and up from here, I guess. But, these aren't like the easy and obvious trades. Like, look, man, like from your comment, it really sounds like you're attached to this asset. I'm not trying to speak downwards towards you, but we're in a fucking sea of a million different crypto assets, of which some are looking good, as we've seen today, and some are looking terrible, as we've seen today. And this one's not the most obvious one. So it's like, why do you need to get back in? Why? Like, are you actually trying to hold this because you want to use whatever their token is for probably no particular purpose? Sorry. I'm from 2016, 2017, where basically tokens were purposeless. Nowadays, I understand that they sometimes have uses, but if that's not you, man, like, you don't need to trade this chart. You can find a more easy chart to trade instead of just re-entering because you got scared and panic sold, which, look, man, you should have a plan. You have to have a plan for what to do if you are considering getting out of your position. It sounds like you didn't, using the words panic sold. It sounds like you did not have a plan. Instead, you just went off of emotions there, which is never going to be optimal, of course. You had a good entry at 28.10. Okay, that's great. But again, that was in the past, and now we are in the present, and you cannot change the past. You can only take action in the present, sir. Anish says RNDR USD on the 4-hour and daily, please. Sure, man. And this is render. I think this one was this one good last week? I think maybe it was. Yeah, it was good last week, but I think this one's topped out here. You're seeing some pretty obvious topping signals. Daily BBWP, redlining right there. Okay. We also do see that this one does have a bearish engulfing dildo on the daily closure yesterday. You might see some bounces short term. In fact, you probably do see some bounces short term, but I'd be very confident in saying that this one's topped out for a while, as long as you're especially closing 4-hour dildos below about $8. So short term, very, very, very likely bounces here, but long term, what is it? Fucking parabolic blow off top on volume, bearish engulfing, high volatility, momentum offset is turning down, bearish divergence on the daily as well. Yeah. Short term bouncy, very likely comes back down over the next few weeks here towards $4. I mean, it had a great run, man. It had a great run. I'm sure we even hit one of the major fibs that we were looking at. Oh, what do you fucking know? $8.50 to the fucking T. Wouldn't say that I call that one. No, there's no such thing as calling. Just that's an area of interest for a major macro high. And in this case, I do think that it was such. Lo-fi youth, no, you're probably not. You're probably not bear. Man. All right, well, fair enough. Merit cycle, all good. Okay, merit. I'm just going to type in merit here. I'm not familiar with this, so it looks like, again, or merit circle. Okay, let's just try this. Still no. So it looks like it's not on TradingView, and it doesn't really, it doesn't really look like anything that I've seen before. Or no, it's this thing right here. Okay, in the future, in the future, it would be better to just write the ticker, the exact ticker that you want to look at. Otherwise, with these more obscure ones that I'm not familiar with, I don't know. Anyways, daily is not going to be helpful on some that's only been around for like 2 weeks, so we will skip that. 4-hour, short-term bearish divergence right here. I've already kind of played out the easy short-term downside move. here, so this one is showing more short-term downside. No, short-term it is bouncy here on the hourly. We'd be looking for it to bounce back up towards 0.00222. Above there, things actually do look good, as this would be a completed ascending triangle in this case, and would probably test around your prior wick highs. But I'd say that hopium subsides and gets invalidated with even a 4-hour closure below 0.00203, and I'd be looking for big moves down towards your prior range or your current range lows at like 0.018 region or so. I don't really have a strong opinion on that one, and I certainly don't have an opinion on the daily as well. Damien says, good evening, Crown. Good evening, Mr. Damien. Shout out to my brother watching Cosmos. Nice. Can you check out CRO on the 1 and 4 hour descending channel at the moment? Break when, sir. Okay. So crypto.com has been very good as of recent. Let's see if it's still very good. Daily, still pretty fucking good here, man. It's getting very close to a top. I'm going to take a sip of this water and then we'll record this one actually. Yeah, and thank you for that, Nicholas, and all the people who are basically saying like, hey, he's already done that one, and then recapping it. I really appreciate that. That's actually incredibly helpful. And yes, you're 100% right, Nicholas. KDA, we've already done it, and I think it's still topped long term actually. Given the invalidation conditions, of course, as well, but that's why it's probably better to actually watch that part just in case. Anyways, here we have crypto.com, symbol CRO versus the dollar. We've been following up on this one for the past few weeks here. One of the best charts in cryptocurrency land. Obviously, they have a lot of good fundamental things going on. Looks like we have hit our, Jesus Christ, our 73-cent target right here, and we are seeing extremes on daily BBWP, and even daily RSI should be putting in a bit of bearish divergence here with any sort of confirmed local high. Now, to be fair, this is in no way, shape, or form bearish, and I'm not calling like a macro long-term high here, but I do think that this is starting to be an area that you would be traditionally looking for on a pullback, and pullbacks can come back down to like half a buck or so, anywhere between about 50 to 55 cents or so. 4 hour, we do see obviously extremes on BBWP yet again. We see 4 hour 1, 2, 3 drives of bearish divergence come off of these highs right there. And yeah, I do think that this one may be short-term bouncy, yes, and very likely is short-term bouncy, but as long as you're closing even hourlies below about 75.5 cents, I would be looking for this one to trade sideways and downwards from here, and put in a bit of a local high, consolidate a little bit lower, and then long-term very likely does continue. I would not be surprised at all, maybe even later this week, but very likely next week, to see new all-time highs actually. The weekly still good, the monthly is obviously still very good. At some point, this thing's going to pull back, and the pullback can be absolutely fucking brutal. This thing could pull back 50% and still be on a monthly long-term bullish. That's the problem when you go parabolic like this, but it's very, very good. I just want to see it from this angle as well to see if this kind of agrees with me. And daily Stokes will turn down below 69.5 cents. Okay, we are below there right now, to be fair. Weekly turns down below 66 cents. Okay, getting close. 4 hour is turning down already below 76 cents, and hourly is flippy floppy, but down as long as below 73 cents. So I'm a lot more inclined to say that this one has seen a local high right here. We've hit pretty much all of our upside targets at this point, and I mean, I think it's kind of relevant to be looking for a bit of a pullback after just a phenomenal run like this. I'm not calling a macro high here. I'm just calling very likely a high. Might test around the current highs today. Be aware of the invalidation. And I suppose if the invalidation is hit, where am I looking towards after that? Like 85 cents, I guess. I mean, I don't think that that's very likely before first playing out a pullback, but still a very good long-term chart. Very, very good long-term chart here. I just think that it is a little bit more short-term toppy here. We're just gonna, it's just the probabilities are on that side right now with the way that we're working off extreme conditions here. So hopefully that was helpful, and there you go for crypto.com, sir. Cool. Descending channel break when, sir? Get off the fucking hourly, man. Oh, you are on the hourly. Okay, well, fair enough. Yeah, it probably is going to pop back up towards 72 cents or so. Fair enough. Yeah, okay. I see what you're asking. I apologize. I did not directly address that when it went with more of the high-term time frame stuff, but you do kind of want to be aware of that in these major areas. John Ray in all capitals says, yo, Crown, you honey badger, woo network, 4 hour daily. Thanks, my G. Right here, brother. Don't ETL. All good, man. All good. Woo USD. Okay, maybe we go to this one. 4 hour and daily. Oh man, now I know we're using capitals. We got rent to pay, and this thing's wrecked. Probably coming back down towards 120 or so. Yeah, not good right there. Not good short term right there. Short term very likely does trade back down somewhere around here and tries to bounce at about $1.19 to $1.20. I would not be bullish in this one for a while, as long as you're below about $1.55. Above there, yeah, you can start to drum the new all-time high drums again, I guess. But daily RSI is breakdown and bearish. I think at best you're going to trade sideways within this range for a while. At worst, you break below about $1.15 and then see big downs towards $1 or so. I don't think that's necessarily happening either, but I do think that this one very likely tests around like your upper, like your 119 to 120ish region, tries for a bounce there, and then we come back to it after that, perhaps. Richard N says PLA 4-hour daily on Coinbase. Hey, and all good, man. Thank you for that. PLA, okay. Play chip, okay. All right, man. Coinbase really lists anything now, don't they? 4-hour and daily. Not much of a daily here. Maybe there is on like Bittrex or Poloniex, and there is. And wow, that's concerning. Let me make sure that these are actually the same thing. So it's doing the same thing over here. No, it's not. Okay, so I will look at the Coinbase one. I guess maybe these are completely different assets here because these charts are 100% different. So I guess I'll just do the exact one that you're asking for. 4-hour, short-term bouncy, long-term toppy. Let's see, daily. Yeah, bearish divergence right there as well. I think that this one's coming back down about $1.90 or so after a bit of a short-term bounce. And I would invalidate this. And I guess be looking for, in this case, new highs, not necessarily new wick highs, but new closing highs above 265 on a 4-hour closure. I would be looking for probably another run at this wick high over here at about $3 to $3.25. Until then, though, I do think that this one is short-term bouncy, but very likely does come down over time. Again, I mean, you should have some hidden bullish divergence over here, so perhaps it gets one more chance. That would play into the short-term bounce, however. So I think that's where I'll leave it. Cole Evans says, "Hey, Brother Crown, what's up, man? Can we get an overview of Cardano USD on Binance? It looks kind of ugly. It's been looking ugly for a while, man. It's been looking ugly for a while, sir. Yeah, let's go look at it over here. $1.80. It is kind of bouncy in this region. I mean, look, it's hit the long-term downside targets that I would have been looking for on the break of the prior $2 region, or I think it was 205 was the validation of a downside move. Weekly still ugly as fuck, man. I mean, the weekly could have one more drive towards 155 to 160. I think it's a little bit less likely with the way that the daily is looking right here. I mean, we are seeing a lost momentum to the downside, I'm guessing. Yeah, I mean, it's been beat up a lot, to be fair. I do think it's going to test around your current lows at about $1.69 yet again. Might have already even had that, and then try for a bounce there. This is not like strong, but short term, if you do see a closure above about 192, I would be looking for another try back around your prior breakdown and rejection levels, which was 210 or so. But again, when we're talking about relative strength and relative weakness within this market, this one is certainly relatively weak long term. And even then, that would just be a test towards your 21 on the weekly. I mean, this is not great. Monthly, we're in bouncy areas here, more or less on the higher term time frames. So that's why I'm very hesitant to call further continuation to the downside before a little bit of a bouncy bounce, but lower highs on a daily as long as you're below 2.25, and that's quite a move away from where we're at right now. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit the microphone there. I don't know if you can even hear that, but yeah, not a big fan of that chart. Peppa says, "Hi, do you like Nanoleafs? Like these things? Yeah, they're great, man. They're amazing. Thanks for your TAs. Thanks, man. Just a nice positive message. Thank you for that. That's very kind of you, and thank you, man. Yeah, they are Nanoleafs, and I do quite like them. I actually have like 30 of them on my other wall, but I lost the power cord, so I can't use them." Oh well, yeah, I did. But once we move to the new place, I'll just buy another power cord, and we can fill out the whole thing with Nanoleafs. It would be kind of funny. The Real G Squared says AIOZ USD 6-hour. Okay, all right. Not familiar with this one. I don't think I've ever seen this one, but it exists on KuCoin. You're looking at a 6-hour. This one's toppy right here. I can already see on the daily. Again, major extreme conditions on daily BBWP. Daily RSI will have bearish evidence on confirmation of a local high. That'll be confirmed with any sort of a closure today below 80 cents. 12-hour could confirm it earlier with a closure below 79 cents in this case. 4-hour time frame actually is still okay, so probably will bounce here short term. I think, oh, you are more short term. You're like 6-hour in this case. Probably bounces very, very short term. However, I stick with my top call as long as they're closing below 90 cents. And probably does work its way down after a bit of a short-term bounce towards 75 cents. assuming that the daily closes below, I think it was 80 cents, and I'd be looking at minimum a retracement down towards 60 cents and probably beyond over time. But I think that we're looking at another top here. So many toppy ones that we've seen today. Short term, however, very bouncy, very, very bouncy, and very likely does try, I mean, above those regions. So I guess until those downside conditions are validated, I suppose I probably shouldn't be calling a top here just yet. You know, it could go for one more run. I mean, short term is very likely to bounce back towards 85 to 87 cents. So fair enough. Maybe I'll hold off on that one. Let's see. Tim Roberts says, "Hey, thanks, man. Yep, we got awesome intro. Fuck yeah, man. I take it you like the Doom tunes. Can you take a look at CRO? Yep, we got that. We got that one, recorded it as well. So I will upload that a little bit later. Regret everything says 1-0 for Neo USD. Lost over 2 Bitcoin on this. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, man. But let's see. 1-0. Neo is, oh, this is the thing. Yeah, okay, here's another great example of a 2017 shitcoin of a piece of garbage chart. Dumpster fire. Just give it all of the damn.
Oh God!
That was it.
Oh God! Oh God!
Oh, a super chat. I don't know. Is that this one?
Come get it!
Come get it! All right, we can't wait for that one. It's too long. That's like a 30-second clip right there, and it's Lex really went off on that one. Anyways, yeah, so this is why I talk about 2017 highs and everything. And if you don't see your shitcoin get above there in your last run in 2021, early 2021, that is, it's a really, really bad sign. And this is just a perfect example of just a garbage fucking chart. When zero, I don't think that anything truly goes to zero. I mean, BitConnect, for example, which was like a known scam, had litigations against it on like a state level, still technically trades for like, you know, a minimal amount, but you know, this thing, it's terrible, just god awful, man. To be fair though, it's probably gonna bounce here. It's probably gonna try for one more bounce here, but yeah, man. You know, I am sorry to hear that. I'm not trying to make fun of your financial displeasures. It sounds like you've kind of already come to terms with it, but you know, this is the importance of kind of focusing on relatively weak and relatively strong charts. So to be fair, it probably does bounce around here. I wouldn't call this one like death spiral just yet until you get back down below about $31.50. But you know, it's just like, you don't have to trade something like this when there are several other charts that are actually good. This one was marketed as the Chinese Ethereum back in 2017, and I mean, that's not a selling point to begin with, for one. And second, you know, whenever you see something like this, not good. The way you go up is the way you come down. And this one only comes, I mean, this one's trending towards zero over time, man. It's not good. You already know that. I don't think it's going to technically go to zero. I wouldn't, or at least I wouldn't call like another major meltdown as long as you're above about 31.5, if that's your specific question. Mark A says, "Hey man, love your input." Thank you. Well, that's cool. Do your thing on ATRI. Okay, so I'm guessing just a general overview. ATRI. Okay, so this is no, hold on. Do you mean a stock? If you mean a stock, then we can definitely look at that. I'm guessing it's, yeah. I'm looking at Mark A, and he's looking at ATRI stock. I'm going to guess it is ATRI stock on NAS. If it's not, if it's a crypto, then as you can see, it's not on TradingView, so we cannot look at it. This is actually quite good. This is actually quite good. So you see an accumulation phase here between about February 2020, kind of where we're at right now, and it just got resolved. Now, with that said, probably going to trade down a little bit from here, you know, probably at least down towards like 730 to 735 region. But long term, this is actually quite good, and I remain bullish on this one until we hit an invalidation below about 710. So I'm just looking for a short-term pullback there. Long-term, this one does seem to be making the macro breakout, and I would be looking for moves back up towards your October 2019 highs, actually towards about 840 to 850 or so, maybe even long-term continuation on top of that. I mean, this is basically your first pullback after just a non-stop rally since, you know, the 90s. So So this one's quite interesting right here. Now, let's say it does close below the invalidation. I would be looking just for it to come back down actually more significantly towards 650 over time. You know, this is a monthly here, so this probably takes like another couple of years if that were to happen. But still, you know, very, very good long term as long as above about $600. So I just don't know exactly what time frame you're going off of. But if that is indeed what you're looking at to begin with, a lot of good signals right there long term actually. Just, you know, a waiting game essentially. MG says RNDR. Yep, we got that one. What?
There was Tim Roberts like before, like before Marx.
Yeah, I got Tim Roberts up.
Yeah, but did you check the crow?
Yeah, we already saw it. We already saw it.
He said he wanted it instead of that, but if he's
Okay.
turn already was.
Okay, so well then I can look at Ethereum. Yeah. You said Ethereum, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we can do Ethereum. Actually, this would be a good one to maybe record it as well. Or I don't know, do we want to? Do I already have enough videos? I might already have enough videos here. Let's see. Today is the 22nd. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, that's plenty. All right. Let's see. Okay, so Ethereum is actually rather interesting to myself. The reason being because you do actually have hidden bullish evidence on a buy daily, and it has been confirmed right here, but it's very, very close to being invalidated, and it will be invalidated with any sort of a closure on a daily below 4150. Below there, this one very likely goes for more prolonged correction at minimum down to 3900 and somewhere between about 3,900 and 3,750 actually. But until then, I should be looking for bounces here. If you're, I don't necessarily know what time frames you want on this, but I'll just go generally over it. 4-hour time frame, you know, do we have something resembling a local low right here? Not quite yet, actually. Hourly, a little, yeah, not too confidence inducing there either. Although I'll tell you where to get a lot more excited about this thing. Back above your current rejective high over the weekend, that would look really good. And that's 44.15 or so. Above there, I'd be looking for another run up towards 45.50. And this one's going to look really, really good on the higher term time frames coming into December. And the 5-day had a decent closure. The weekly had it had a decent closure, not super conclusive, but it's more good than bad, I would say. Bi-weekly, same thing. This is actually okay. And monthly, I actually still think that the monthly is okay. I know that does look like a shooting star dildo, but if we do go over here, oh, we're actually not above the topside Toronto band. I'd feel a lot, if I'm looking at the long term on this one, it really doesn't need to be anything more complicated than this. So we got another what? A little bit more than 1 week in the trading month left. Okay, so it ends next Tuesday. Yeah, next Tuesday. If you see any sort of a closure above the topside Toronto band, which is just under 4,400, which would be below the target on the daily condition that we just looked at, I would be looking for this one to make new all-time highs in December, actually. That's actually what I'd be waiting for right here. That's the obvious trade. The other obvious trade is actually breaking below your current lows at 4,000 on a daily, or even below. I think I said 4150 or so. Let's just say more like 4050 actually. At that point, I would be looking for big. I'd be looking for big moves down towards somewhere between about 3750 to 3900, and then a bounce there, and then come back to it after that. Until then, I would actually give it a chance here. And the very, very obvious signal on the daily would be back above this local high. And then the monthly very likely follows through. That would look really good for December for new highs. Until then, this next week is going to be, I just don't think that you really need even, just need, at least if I was trading this, I would wait for one of those conditions because that's going to make it a lot more obvious in my opinion. But again, to each their own, of course. Okay, where did I leave off here? Okay, we got that. Okay, MG says, oh, you're from Hungary. I actually lived in Budapest for a while. It's a really, really cool place. I really liked going to the baths there and everything. It's actually quite nice. No, Elsa's laughing because she thinks it's like a fucking, pool party or something, or like a, bubble party or some shit like that. No, it's like an actual nice bath. It is not G-A-Y-E-L-S-A. It is actually quite N-I-C-E, in case you didn't know. Should Google that up. It's actually quite nice. MG, yep, we've already looked at render. It was, I think that one was Toppy, if I recall, but it was just a little bit ago. I'll just actually briefly look at it over here. Yeah, short-term bouncy, long-term Toppy. Luca Hines says, hey, would you look at Olympus Dow? And again, definitely scroll back to the earlier, more in-depth analysis on that one, because there is, of course, like contingencies with that. Olympus Dow, good here on the daily, actually quite good. Wasn't expecting that, but pretty good. Short term, be looking for a move towards like 975, maybe even 1,000. Let's see, what does it look like over here? This one has like a bizarre looking chart, to be fair, but it's good for the short term. Yes. I'd be looking for move up towards 975, maybe 1,000. And do I think that things are going to stop there? Probably not, actually. I do think that things make a leg up towards 1,100 upon daily closure above that region. Kind of a weird chart long term, to be fair, but I think it's just more good than bad, and it's just like a sloppy altcoin, for example. I think that's a little more likely. Yeah, I have no reason to be bearish on this thing, especially as long as you're above on a daily closure, about 760 in this case. So this one's pretty good. And again, lows being put on low volatility, I do like that. Or at least I typically look at that as a good sign for, this one trying a little bit of upside from here. Jonathan says Trias 4 hour and daily. Sure. TRIAS. Okay.
Have you done
KDA? Yeah. Yeah, we did KDA. Trias, again, at best ranging here, and the range very easy. Jesus Christ, I charted this for a stupid time frame, but daily range, top side 20.25, bottom side $15. Below $15, I do look for this one to have a pretty nasty move to the downside, somewhere around about 11.5 or so. Until then, sideways is good for the Bulas. Short term, it does look like it wants to test around the bottom side of this channel here, which is for about $15 or so. But I would be looking for another bounce off that region, and I wouldn't get excited until you actually close back above 20.25. And then, yes, I'd be looking for moves up towards 22.5 or so, and maybe even more over time. But sideways is good for the Bulas. Short term, very likely does test the downside, though, and then probably bounces. Jay-Z. It's Jay-Z! Holy shit! You're amazing, man. Been waiting for this gem to shine against on Ray. Okay. I can look at it. Keep on hitting my damn thing. All right, that would not be good. Anyways, no time frames given. Where do I go with this one? Don't know. Daily and 4 hour. Again, at best ranging here sideways. Short term looks like it wants to probably test around your current lows, somewhere low $9, but I wouldn't necessarily call a breakdown there. I don't think this one actually breaks down, to be honest with you, but I would have to look at a breakdown below 904 on a daily closure, looking for big moves down towards $7 or below. Until then, sideways is good for the Bulas. Short term, yeah, probably test around the current lows. I would get a little bit short-term excited back above $11, looking for a move back to the top side of your range. And then long-term, I wouldn't be looking for anything. If you're looking for gem shining, that very likely happens above about 13.25. Until then, sideways at best, in my opinion. It's not bad, but especially as long as the bottom side condition is not hit, but it's not bad. It's just, going to probably take its time right there. What's up, Nimai? Titcom, Mr. Tipcom. What?
Change the KDA to its second bottom.
Can you just read it out to me?
Where's keys?
Oh, God. Okay, I'll just look at it. Oh, my Lord. What is this thing, man? All right. Well, keep an open mind, I guess. Well, that's not a very helpful chart. I don't know what to tell you on this one, man. I don't think that there's no history here. For the history that we do have, it's terrible. Unfortunately, either this is like the wrong chart, or if this is the chart as it is and it's only been around since the 18th of November, it's quite poor. But this is an hourly. It's not very helpful. I don't think I can give you a good opinion on anything. So unfortunately, I understand it's not helpful and it's just annoying, but it's the best that I can do for something like that. Gonzo90 says, hey, Crown, all good, man, all good. Can we look at CRV USD? Yes. So this curve, and I remember we looked at it last week and it was actually okay. Let's see if it's still okay. Yeah, still okay. Actually, in fact, I quite like this. Back above, what is it, about $4.50. I do look for this one to trade around its prior October highs at about 540. Just want to see a closure above there, but yeah, daily RSI, we are getting a little bit of hidden bullish divergence right there. Daily BBWP, we are on lows right there. We even have a following channel, and there is a long-term technical target towards 669. I'd only say that that's validated upon a closure above about 540. But actually not a bad setup right here, and would be invalidated, more importantly, below 360 on a daily closure. Until then, good. Very, very good, actually. Nice little consolidation coming off the prior range highs, actually. Not bad. He's back again. Mr. Jack Essman says, sir, I know it's a new coin, but could you please check out IMX? Okay. I mean, I can always look at new coins, just I don't think I'll have a good opinion on them or a relevant opinion on them. Okay, so let's see. Maybe Huobi is going to have maybe the most history. Okay, that's not much. Maybe OKX. Nope. Maybe not that. Hold on. Maybe Poloniex. Okay, they're all about the same, it looks like. 4 hour and daily. Daily is not going to be helpful to me. I don't have any opinion on that. 4 hour, kind of the same thing as well. If anything, I guess this might be another higher low right here, at which point I'd be looking for a move towards 850. Probably the hourly is going to be more obvious. And again, this thing does not trade all that much, but you already know that, Jack. I'm probably looking for a short-term move back up towards 830, maybe even 840. And I guess I would be looking for general continuation as long as you're above this current 4 hour low, below like $7 essentially. I guess I do look for one more move down to 640. I'm really kind of grasping at straws on this one, man. So I always want to shoot you straight and just say, you know, a healthy amount of I don't know is the proper answer, kind of similar to the last one that we looked at that just didn't really have much history here. But this one's a little bit more. You do have a bullish engulfing on the 4 hour, so I'm inclined short term, you know, probably a little bit of upside, but anything other than that, I don't think is appropriate for me to say. FD says VRA, daily weekly. I think we looked at this one. I'm pretty sure we looked at this one. Yeah, Veracity. Yeah, this one ranging at best, short term, very likely test around the lows at about 5.5 cent. Probably tries for one more bounce there. I mean, it could be that you are operating in a falling channel right here, at which point I would get bullish on a daily closure above about 717. That would look good for another retest of the highs of this rally. Actually, that would look pretty good. I mean, that is available right there. So fair enough. Laura says, Elsa, have them try some Epsom salts in a clean sock warmed. Wait, what? That's not what I use my socks for, Laura. Hot, not too hot in the microwave and held it. Oh, actually, I fixed my ear. It's actually all good now. But thank you for that, Laura. Yeah, I went to the doctor, and first he like got out this contraption that was like a vacuum thing with like a really fine tip on it, and he put that in my ear, and he said like that didn't do shit. And then he tried to like wash it out a little bit, and that kind of helped a little bit. And then he got like this pick, like this very fine metal pick, and he started like picking out my eardrum, and that actually was kind of painful. So he stopped, and then he said, all right, time's up and you have to leave and you're on your own from there. And so I went to the pharmacy and got one of those things that you put in your ear and softens up the wax, and that actually cleaned it out after that rather well. But thank you for that. I do appreciate that, Laura. Lindsay Ford says, hey Crown, what's up, Lindsay? Wondering how the miners are holding up. Okay, CLSK, so I'm guessing this is a stock here. And that's actually always a really good thing to be looking at, Lindsay, is the Bitcoin miners here. Because they should naturally be healthy when Bitcoin's healthy. They should naturally be shitty when Bitcoin is not shitty. And in this case right here, long term, this looks like one massive accumulation, but short term, does it come back down and test around this uptrending slope line and give another higher low on the weekly? That would be the bullish look on this one, actually. Daily. Short term might have one more bounce up to 20.25, but I would not be calling any daily continuation as long as below 23.20. Above there, I'd say that this is going to put in another weekly low, and then you will very likely work your way back up towards 30 plus, and this will look good long term. But I think this one's going to take a long time at best, you know, into like Q2 of next year actually. This one's got a lot of space to fill out here, so fair enough. Very, very short term bouncy. Medium term probably comes back down and puts in another higher low. Long term probably good. Just don't want to see it take out its current low. That would be bad. Let's see. Tommy Al says VGX 3 hours on Binance. Thank you, Zara. All right. Okay. I'm not. Wait, is this the Voyager thingy? Because this one was really, really good this morning, apparently. No, it doesn't have much history. You're on a 3 hour. All right. Actually pretty good here. This one's, I guess, still trending. I'm always very hesitant to call it on like something like this new, but I don't really have a reason to be looking at this one as bad, especially as long as you're above 430. That would be in validation of the current short-term bullishness on this one. You know, you are kind of getting up there on 3 hour BBWP, but that's not a humongous deal. I mean, I'm curious where the 6 hours. Okay, that's also up there too. 12 hours definitely up there. This one's probably closer to finding a top than not, but I do think that it actually does have one more run. Again, assuming that the invalidation condition is not met, you're just getting your first pullback after breaking your prior range highs in this case. It looks like, yeah, right here. So that is okay, and that is kind of to be expected basically. And let's see, where does that come in? Yeah, pretty much exactly where we're at right now on about the hourly low. So I guess I wouldn't invalidate it on short-term bullishness as long as you're above there, but I do think that you're getting very close to a high right here. You're seeing extreme conditions on volatility on pretty much all time frames, so maybe one more drive towards 5 or 5.5, and I'd be very cautious on this one. Let's see, the Mad Cutter says, Gam, stop, please, sir. 4 hour daily, yeehaw, and Godspeed, Honey Badger. Holy shit. I think you mean GameStop, is that right? GME, okay, and let's see where this one is. 4 hour and daily. Daily, again, short-term upside here, man. Short-term upside, probably popping back up. Short-term minimum to 242, 243. Probably even goes for the top side of the range too. And I guess, I mean, shit, man, I'm actually have to be bullish on this one if it does close a weekly above 269 or so. But until then, short-term good. I mean, momentum oscillators on the weekly are actually quite bullish here. Fucking hell, man, this thing actually might end up being bullish. At least short-term, very likely up. That's what I'd be looking towards on that one, not financial advice, of course. Michael, wait, welcome to the cave. Oh, I should also let you know, if you are subscribed to this channel, so like on YouTube, if you are, oh nice, we have 900 likes on this video too, that's good. If you are subscribed to this, to like the YouTube channel, on the YouTube channel, I actually did upload a special playlist for you, kind of like as a thank you for a TA 101 series, which you can view at your leisure, which is actually, well, fair enough. Maybe relevant to you, maybe not relevant to you. There he is, Martin Hunt, he's looking at an algo 4-hour and daily if there's time. There is time actually, but we are gonna actually shut off the comments relatively soon. So there is certainly time, sir. Let's see, what do we have here? 2 minutes. All right, 2 minutes. I still can't hate it as long as it's going sideways within this channel right here. You know, I can't believe we hit that $3 target right at the 2.618. Wonder what the fuck went on that day. But again, this is why whenever you see something like that happens and then you close with a big wick like this, it's at best gonna range and at worst gonna break down. I would still hold off on calling an actual breakdown until you do close below 155. In short term, it very likely does test down around there, it looks like. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the same analysis, man. I know that that's not too helpful, but can't really get excited about this thing on the daily as long as you're below about 215, 216. Short term, I would be looking for a test around there if you see a 4-hour above about 195. That would look good for the short term, but very short term timeframes, I do think that this one does likely test around your current lows yet again. I wouldn't necessarily call a breakdown there just yet. I do think that it probably bounces, but let's see what the weekly looks like. Weeklies, this is one weird looking weekly right here. I would still say that it probably bounces at least one more time. You know, trading sideways within that range is long-term good. It's just how long is it going to do that? I don't know, could be quite some more time. No, that ain't too helpful right there, but it doesn't need to be any more complicated than that. Otherwise, you're just going to get chopped up trading basically a sideways range. Like that's not very constructive. Let's see. David Acosta, I see you, man. QRDO. Okay, and yeah, we're also gonna have to, all super chats after this moment are unfortunately not gonna be read. So I see you, Mr. Jay-Z. You're gonna be the last one with KSM right there. Anyways, oh, and I'll pin that message. Let's see. Hey, there it is. Nice. All right, I got it. Sweet. Okay, got it. Let's see. Okay, QRDO, no time frames given, so I don't really know where to go with this one. I'm inclined to say another, top-ish looking one. I believe we called a top on this one last week. We've got the easy retracement already. I do think that it pops up short term, on a bounce, regardless of whether you're bullish or bearish, maybe somewhere around like low $8. But I stick with my top call here as long as you're closing 4-hour deltas above 885 in this case. Daily, yeah, it's topping. It's not really much history here, but I do think that this one's very likely topped out for a while after a bit of a short-term bouncy bounce and worked its way down over the following weeks towards $6, maybe lower than that. I've warned you guys. Look, we can't read any more of those messages after that statement and announcement was made. I do apologize. I know it's annoying. I feel bad not getting those comments, but we need to be very stringent about this so that we stay on time here. See what you can. Oh, I see what you did there. Block. Okay, so this was another one that we looked at last week, and it's actually shown some short-term strength there. Let's see if it remained with it. Yeah, I'd say so. 4 hours still good as long as you're closing above about 9.6 cent. Daily, same thing. In fact, daily looks like it wants to retest around the range highs. In long term, I look at this one as putting in a major low right here as long as you're above basically 9.4, 9.5 cent. So you can come down around there. That's fine. I don't have any issues with that. That would just be another opportunity, at least in my book. Below there, I do start to express reservations that this one is actually turned around to be bearish, and I'd be looking for maybe moves down to like 5 to 6 cent or so. Until then, this one's actually still kind of chugging its way along. And of course, short term, as long as you're above 9.4 or 9.5 cent, actually quite good. In short term, I do think that it very likely bounces back up here. Even an hourly closure back above about 11 to 11.5 cent. I'd be looking for this one to continue on towards the prior range highs. I don't necessarily have an opinion on whether it's ready to break those regions or not, but I do think that you probably test around there over the next week or so. Speaking of, where did we close the 5-day? Yeah, 5 days okay here. I'm a little more on the bullish side than the bearish side there. Let's see. Seth Roosevelt says, hey man, all good, brother, all good. May you check out Prayer. Okay, so this is definitely one that I've never seen before. Okay, so this is Polka Rare token. I think they forgot like a, oh dear lord, bad. Not much history here, man. Oh, actually, hold on, that's 5 day. Well, also bad on a daily. Actually quite bad no matter which way I look at it. You know, short term, is it going to bounce here yet again? Maybe yes, but any sort of a bounce that fails to get back about what is this, 400,000 or 392,000 is just that, basically this level right here. And long term, I'm not looking for anything exciting here as long as you're below about 470,000. That is above there. You can probably see a nice rip up towards your June highs. Until then, sideways and down with maybe a short term bounce here is most likely. Even the 4 hours actually not showing too much of a bounce. In fact, although I'm a lot more inclined to say that it will try a bounce here and then work its way back down around your range lows. But this thing just looks like it only gets sold. So there's not a whole hell of a lot of history, so I don't feel too confident on this one. I always want to be very open and honest about that. But you know, I do think it's going to bounce here. Yes, I just wouldn't get excited as long as you're below basically your 8th of November highs. Above there, things look pretty damn good, I guess. But something that pretty much only goes down is throughout its history is usually not the best sign. Ryan Gibson says LRC. Okay, so this is loop ring. I believe I called a high on there a couple of weeks ago, and would I be sticking with this call? Yes. Oh yeah. Short term, it is going to be bouncy though. Yeah. Short term, very likely bouncy. You're going to be breaking our current downtrend right here, or going to at least have a chance to do it. We'd like to see a 4 hour closure above about 263.5, and then yes, I would be looking for a move towards your 19th of November highs at about $3. But I stick with my long-term top call as long as you're below 335. Same conditions as before. So short-term bouncy, yep. Long-term, yeah, I remain with. Well, the weekly ain't that bad, but I wouldn't be surprised to see like a move down towards 175 over the next month here, and then probably try for a major low right there. To be fair, however, there are a couple things on the weekly that do say that I'm going to be wrong about that. That would be the weekly Jewel, which is actually still remaining with a pretty good posture there. And weekly RSI, it's not it's showing signs of slowdown, but it's not showing signs of like immediate top just yet. 5 day. I mean, I still think short-term bouncy probably still does put in a major high here. But hey, if you regain your 335 level, then I'm going to be wrong about that, and you're very likely going to see another new all-time high party, I guess. At that point, I guess I'd be looking towards. Hold on, let's get rid of this. Let's do 1.4 right here. I guess I'd be looking for $4 if that were to be met. Until then, though, I think this one's showing a lot more toppy signals than not. Michael White says Eternity. Okay. ERN versus the dollar. Okay. Let's see what we got right here. This thingy? I think it's this thingy. It's okay. Actually, it is okay. It is going through a bit of a nice and healthy accumulation range right here, isn't it? Something like this. I do think short term it might come down and test around your 14 or the 1375 levels right here, but ultimately this is actually quite a good formation and will be validated for a move probably around your prior highs at like 22 and a quarter. So with any sort of a daily closure above 1760, it's okay. Just short term probably test a little bit of downside here for what it's worth. Let's see. Mark Miggs says, I meant Atari token, ATRI. One more time, please. If you can't find it, how about Joe? Yep, we still can't. We wouldn't be able to find it, man. We already looked at it. Joe, I think we can do Joe versus AVAX here. I think that's the closest that we can get, but maybe that's good enough. And yeah, we can look at that. Daily actually looks like it's put in a major low right here, and I would be looking for it to work its way back up towards 0.041, just this last breakdown region right here. So I do think that it's actually good versus AVAX, which is actually quite impressive because AVAX is obviously very good right now as well. So I'm guessing the US dollar parent is going to be quite strong, and I would hold off on getting like anything resembling long-term bearish on this thing as long as you're above 0.0262. Below there, yeah, it's going to be quite nasty and probably a bit of a death spiral, but until then, I think it's okay. I think it's okay. Short-term time frames are showing bearish divergence here, so maybe another move down towards 0.323 short-term, and then a bounce there. But I don't know what time frame is going off of there, so I do think that the long-term is, or at least the long-term that we have information for, is at least okay for now. Not quite certain on that one, to be honest with you. Let's see. Stock Tier says OHM. I think we got that one. I think we got that one. Yeah, this thingy. Yeah, we did get this one. Bouncy and actually good. Actually quite good. Yeah, I remember this one. This one's good. Short term, probably looking at another move. I wouldn't say short term, but on a daily, you know, short term about 975 to 1,000, and then I do think that daily probably continues a little bit above 1,100, and it's actually just a retest of your major breakout region. I do like it actually. Neil Cotton says, "Hey man, no good, all good man, and I'm no genius man. I've just been doing this for too fucking long." So, and look, anyone would be at my level or greater if you've been doing this for more than 10 years. I can assure you of that. Could you please have a look at Luna on the 1 and 4 hour? Okay, short and medium. That's medium term to you. Fair enough. All right. Good thing that you defined that. 4 hour in a more bouncy area than not. I don't know when I charted this one last, but in a more bouncy area than not, probably does ground at the lows maybe one more time. Daily is starting to break down here a little bit more, but I'd still give it a chance to bounce here. And I'll tell you where I get a lot more excited about this one. Above 45.25, this would actually look quite good for another run towards your prior range highs at $52, or actually just your prior highs in this case. For right now, if you do break below on a 4 hour closure, below about 30, on a 4 hour below about $39, I would be looking for another run towards your range lows at about $34.25 to $35. Still be long-term okay as long as you're just not breaking below that region. But, you know, obviously that's going to be kind of nasty for the short term. So very, very short term timeframes, again, probably grinds at the lows at minimum. And if you do see a bounce back up above that prior range high, that's where things look a lot more interesting. To be fair, or to be honest with you, I do think that this one goes for a more prolonged consolidation within this greater range here, for what it's worth. Weekly is toppy. We just confirmed, you know, the drive of bearish evidence there, so I'm a lot more inclined to say that at best this one does come down to, you know, $34.25 to $35 over the next couple weeks here. Let's see. MG Manzo says UFO. Okay. When's the next best time to get in? I don't fucking know your strategies, and I'm not here to trade for you as well. That's financial advice, sir, which is illegal. It's like at least you gave time frames on it though. I mean, at least you did that. When is the next best time to get in? I mean, this one's gonna probably top relatively soon. This one has like too much more to go. I have no idea what your strategies are, man. I can't answer that question for you. That's based off like a one sentence on a YouTube comment. I have no idea. I would say if this thing retested around like 62 to 69, that would be a nice base. But again, I don't know if that's relevant for you. If you're just scalping, I mean, well, short term is probably down, but daily, long term, I like it, or at least for the long term history that we do have, it generally goes up. It's good. It's not really a weekly here though, man. So I can't really look at that from a long time. I have to say, I don't know, man. I don't know, unfortunately. It is what it is. Long term, it's still good though. I don't think this one's necessarily topped out on the daily just yet. Maybe we can draw one of these just to see kind of where we're at. I would think that you probably do get somewhere around about a 115 to 120 before you do see your next like major top. And I guess you already got to 115. So maybe one more drive to 120, and that'll be looking for a big top. Probably works its way down to like 70 or so after that, you know, whatever that number is right there. And what's up, Pelagic? Welcome to the cave as well, sir. Jack says, sir, could you please look at gold? So you mean, I'm guessing you mean like XAU. If you want to look at the actual GLD ETF, I can do that as well. That's actually the one that I traded in traditional markets. But XAU, where the fuck is it? Where is it? Where did I put it? There it is, 1844. Okay, nice. Yeah, great weekly closure last week. So I do have the bias now that while this one does very likely short-term retrace, probably down to like, well, what is this? Somewhere between 1820 to 1830. I actually would be looking for this one to give a try over the next month or so, back up towards 1900. I only get bearish on this one below 1800 on a weekly. Daily, same thing, short-term down, but I'm not like bearish on this one long-term. It's just short-term down, very likely we test around 1820 to 1830 or so, and then try for a bounce there. Yeah, this one's actually quite set up quite well coming into end of the month here. So this is your November closure most likely, and anything above 1820 is going to look really good for December, and January coming up probably towards 19 to 1950 or so, and this one's just going to be your massive falling channel consolidation after breaking new all-time highs. I mean, that's quite good. You even have hidden bullish evidence on the monthly over here as well. JC says KSM USD. Okay, KSM USD. What do we have here? Maybe, well, no time frames given, but again, ranging at best for the short term. And short term, I do think that is, oh god damn it, I charted every fucking time frame right there. I do think that this one retests around the low side of your range, whether that be your 19th of November lows at about 320 to all the way down to about 310. I do think at best it comes back down around there, and then probably bounces yet again from that region. Yeah, short-term time frames are kind of short-term bearish as well. I would get short-term excited back above about 375, looking for moves back around 400 to 410. But until that happens, man, I think this one's going sideways at best on the higher term time frames, which maybe or maybe not is relevant to you, but I don't know based off your non-confirmation. Okay, cool. Oh, we have one more. Okay, one last one for 2 dudes, 1 stick. What? Man, be careful. I love you as well, man. Okay, may I get your opinion on euro dollar? Oh, I fucking love euro dollar because this one's absolutely coming down and getting shouted for a while now. Oh, David, man, we turned off the chats a long time ago, man. I apologize, but we really can't get to it. We have to be a lot more strict with that rule. I think we are coming into a bouncy area relatively soon, but yes, monthly, I'm still looking a little bit further south towards 111, 111.25 actually. Might get a few wicks below. And to be fair, let me just get rid of this right here. Do we have declining highs on the monthly? We do actually right now, and I'm massively bullish on Dixie, so that is, well, not a great setup for euro dollar, which is good for me because, you know, I have most of my money in dollars, but maybe not for everyone else. So apologies on that, but yeah, we've been bearish on this one for a long time now, especially since August to September. This one now coming to fruition. I mean, it's going to take a long time, obviously, as it is a monthly and a weekly, but I would be looking for a weekly continuation towards 111.75, very likely a short-term bounce around there, and then close the monthly down, set it up for, you know, maybe one more drive around your May lows, and then to open up December and then very likely bounce. I don't think this one's going to, like, you know, shatter through the floor or anything like that, but quarterly, pretty wrecked here. You know, maybe like middle of 2022, you do see a move down to almost parity, like a $1.06 to a $1.05 region. But I mean, that, you know, that is a quarterly lower high, and that's what made us really, really bearish coming into September closure. So hidden bearish evidence on a quarterly, breaking down below, I mean, breaking right into the bearish control zone on the, or sorry, actually not in the bearish control zone, but breaking below the exponential on the quarterly chart, and volatility is quite low. If this one actually really gets going, which wouldn't be had until you actually break below 105, this thing would see, you know, for the next few years, probably like, you know, low 90s or so. So I'm generally bearish on that one, but I don't know what time frame you're going on. Oh, you're going off of an hourly. Sorry. Okay, that's completely irrelevant to you. Well, it's still shitty. I'd still be looking for maybe one more drive towards like 112.5 and then try for a bounce there. But man, that is just a beat up chart. So it really wouldn't take too much to get a short-term bounce on this one. So hopefully that'll help us there. All right, cool. Sweet. That's the end, I think, my friends. It's been an absolute pleasure on this lovely Monday morning over here. The sun is kind of out right now, so it feels like there's life abound. I'm gonna go eat some food, go to the gym, and then get back to work, I guess, again. So I would like to wish everyone well. I would like to wish everyone the best of the best once again. Elsa is waving in the background because she loves you. She's fist pumping because she really loves you today, actually, with some peace signals as well. I'll be signing off now. Take care, and hopefully see you very soon.
Buy it, code it, name it, read it, mine it, stack it, flip it, dream it, post it, scan it, charge it, send it, do it, and receive it, trade it, buy it, sell it, store it.
Christmas dildos moving up and down. They'll call him Crypto Crown. You've got to TA to be free. Learn how to surf in the deep Red Sea. Trend lines, average values, RSI. Lift ocean coins to the sky. From Mr. Buter into XRP. Oh, there Jesus set us free. Crypto what? Crypto crown. Drifting Lambos through your town. Others better buckle down. Cause it's the final crypto what? Crypto crown, drifting Lambos through your town. Others back.